Hello there. I'm going to try something new. I'm going to build a feature and just talk through how I do it. I'm working on Cora, and one feature request is so we have this preview of the email now. The issue is if you click on any of these links, uh, they will try to open it in the iframe here, and the goal is to, if you click it, that it just opens in another window. So that's really the feature. So let's see. Using cursor here. Normally first I try to open all the files that are related to here. So this is the email preview controller. Um, let's see. So we render HTML here, and we have the title modal. I think there's the iframe. Yep, here's the iframe where it stores this preview path. And cool. So basically what we need to do is we need to change the HTML most likely in here in the HTML part that we say target blank or something like that. But let me just see. Um, so what I do is reference open editor. So everything that's open is added. So what I do now, I just have a script in the background that I can trigger to do voice to text. And I'm going to explain. I'm in agent mode here in the composer, Claude Sonnet. I'm going to try to explain the problem. So like I've ideas how we can do this. Like two ideas in my head are like I can use Nokogiri or something like that to parse the HTML tree and like find all the links and hrefs and add a target blank to it on the Ruby side. It might work, but also it's kind of prone to crashing and maybe there's not correct HTML and like all of that stuff. The other one is we do it with JavaScript. We just inject some piece of JavaScript in the HTML and just let JavaScript do it on the client side. That seems like an easier way to do it, but let me ask Composer to look at it and propose some options as well and see what it does. So what I find is if you give the solution, it will just go with that solution, but you might miss a better solution. So I like to explore a little bit first. So let's go. I want you to fix an issue I have, and the issue is that since the email is in an iframe, and when there are links in the email that you can click, it tries to open them in the iframe, but that is not allowed for like origin access control. So I want you to make sure that if there are any links that you can click in the HTML of the preview of the email, that you do a target blank in a new page. Can you look at the code and give me some options how to solve this and give some strategies how to do this? Okay, so that's it. I like to talk because, okay, it's doing the same thing. It's a server side or client side. I guess it's doing exactly what I thought. Okay, well, I already implemented this. Is this good? So it says modifies sending HTML content is most reliable. security restrictions. Not really, there are no security restrictions. It seems that this should work. Um, what happens if no Kogiri cannot parse the HTML when there's improper HTML? Can it still parse? Okay, so I ask it a follow-up question because, okay, so it says with malformed HTML no queries, generally quite forgiving. Okay, good. That's nice. Um, so with things like this, yes, you can put it in a controller, but it's a little bit, yeah. I like to go a little bit further and just like it says, it's quite forgiving, but I have no idea. So what I'm going to ask it is to refactor this into a service and then add a test for that service that tests for those things. Okay, let's go. Okay, great. It is in the controller right now. Can you refactor this into a service and then add a test for that service that will actually test all the use cases and ensure it works correctly? And can you then run that test to see if the service works? Okay, so this is the power of Composer. I really like it because this sounds like a lot of work to do myself. Um, but I just have to say, do this, and then it does it. So why not? Also, this time where it's generating, you can just chill. You can think about next steps. So, like in a pair programming term, I'm the navigator here more, and the composer is the driver, which I really like. And I also like it's hands-free in the sense that I don't type on my keyboard. I just have one button. I have it mapped to F11 where I can just talk. There are other apps that do it, but I just wrote my own. It works great. Just whisper. And okay, it's creating the tests. So I have some custom instructions where I say I like this kind of structure, follow this design pattern, some cursor rules as well. However you want to work. Okay, it's generating the tests. Okay, it just didn't load the fixtures, which is fine. Okay, so it goes to use mini test directly, which is fine as well. This is just a Ruby service. We just need the Kogiri, which I already have in my gem file. Okay, it had some tests that we don't need. Let's see what the test actually is. Okay, so this looks good. Okay, it's still going. Okay, just different assertion. It's a Rails thing, I guess. Okay, let's see it. So, okay, so HTML link modify service. Um, okay, it's passing. So I like my service different. I guess I could add this to my cursor rules. Let's see here. So normally when something happens that I don't that I want to change, I don't think service. I have anything here. So let's say there is there. So when I see it generate anything I don't like, or like it's not how I do things, like especially with Ruby on Rails, it's like conventional over configuration, but you can still have your own flavor of certain things. So just immediately add it here. Services, always use this format for service objects. Coro, so it's class name it service, and then there is initialize with stuff, and then we set the stuff, the instance variable, and then def run, and run runs it. Okay, so I'm just going to do this. So hopefully in the future it will do it like that. Can you refactor the service to follow this structure? And I did not put it in the cursor rules. It's not very specific to this project necessarily, just my style. So I put it in the cursor settings instead. You could put it in cursor rules as well, and you could even ask the. Okay, so let's say accept all. Um, let's see. Okay, so it did not really see like it updated the test. Can you ensure you update the test as well? And can you check if the test runs? Because it didn't update it there, I think. It still says call. Okay, cool. There we go. So something to consider is like there were two options, and I went with the one option here. I'm still evaluating what option I should go with. I'm not sold that this is the option, but I think like if it works with malformed HTML pretty well, I think this is the way to go. It's probably fast and it's probably um, yeah. If it's finding, yeah, for example, if it finds this one, okay, now it's running it. So the next thing is like I want to make sure if there's like weirdly formatted HTML that it actually still does it. Um, I want to test if it's actually forgiving. I think it's stuck here. But normally you pop out the terminal and then it will actually stop. Okay, let me try running again. So sometimes it gets stuck like that. Okay, it works. Okay, cool. Um, so I'm going to accept. That's good. I just want to make sure that the bed HTML. Okay, so I'm going to instruct it. Can you add a test with like HTML that's not completely properly formatted and ensure that it still fetches the A hrefs and does it well? Because you just told me that Nokia is quite forgiving. Can you add a test case for that where it actually works in not completely properly formatted HTML? So this is really nice because it's an easy way to ensure it runs correctly, it does the right thing, it catches mistakes. It's very nicely, the concern is nicely isolated in the service. I like to work like this. Okay, there we go. It's going to add that test. Okay, this looks more like it. Yeah, so it has a diff and a p, so that's not correct. And okay, so it failed. Let's see, it fail here, but let's see. Okay, so it unclosed tag. Okay, there we go. Has a few failures, which is great. Okay, great. Okay, so this looks good because it had like it has five things that are common, and it fails or it works. So okay, cool. I feel strong. So what I do go do now is I go to commit these things. Let's look. Email controller. So basically, we need to call this thing. It's not called. Okay. You make sure in the controller you also use the proper way to call this service because it's currently using call still. So you see, you still need to review, make sure it's working. So hand review still for the win. Okay, so this is good. New run. Great. Okay, so I accept these. This looks good. I stage these. Next. This is the this is weird. I don't want this. Remove the self.call HTML. Just only do initialize and run. Make it simple. Make sure that the tests and the controller do not use this. Okay, this is weird, but that's fine. Okay, so you see, I already have in my head how I want to see it a little bit, make it more. Okay, that's good. So what I like to do with services is also add class level yard documentation with examples. Since I just have a long composer conversation about what I expect and the intentions and the tests and all that, it should, um, yeah, it should work pretty well. So I'll just add all that's open. Still running the test. Let's see. That's good. Cool. Okay, it's already using that. So add yard level, class level yard documentation with examples of what this service does. So why do I add this? It's handy for future use. So if I have an LLM and I link this file, it has examples, so it grounds itself in understanding a little bit better. I like to do it, and especially at this point, since it has the context of the test, it can give like very easy examples here. So I like to do this. This works nice. Okay, except maybe in the run, it's a little bit much. I don't need the examples here. Okay, cool. I like the implementation. It's clean. We have examples. Test looks good. Okay, well, this is it. So you can test, like, maybe I should actually test this. Uh, but also, I like, okay, I don't have the test. So test. This is my local machine, and I don't have the seed data with malformed and stuff like that. So I would think if the test passes and the test looks good, like it's good. So when I commit this, I immediately test this on production. I monitor errors, so I can roll it back within a second. So if anything goes wrong, like one person has an error when they click on something, so like that's not that bad. So probably for future, it's good to have this in the seed data so I can test it locally. But for now, I feel good. I have a test. If I didn't have a test, definitely need to test this. But this is how I do features. I can go either way. Let's do this. So, feature. Um, Make sure all in email previews. Okay. Well, there we go. Commit, push. I just pushed and it should be live in 3 minutes. And then I'm going to try it out. This is how I do a feature. This is just a new format I'm trying out where I just pick something I'm going to solve and talk through how I do it and what I think about it. Curious to hear what you think and happy to do more. Cheers.